My name is Derrick Mahandia. I work with NAMATI. NAMATI is an NGO which supports communities to get title deeds for community land. It's quite a long process that requires a lot of support, a lot of procedures that are involved before the community is able to mobilize, meet all the requirements of the law, and finally get a title deed. So in Kenya, in 2010, when we passed the new constitution, it introduced three categories of land: the public land, private land, and community land. So community land is land which is owned communally by a community, as opposed to private land where individual members of the community get title deeds. But in community land, there's only one title deed issued for the entire community. Since we passed this law in 2010, it has taken a while before we've been able to get any tangible results. The Constitution required Parliament to enact legislation that would oversee the registration of community land. And it took six years, from 2010 to 2016, before a law was passed, and the law is called the Community Land Act of 2016. But since that law was passed, only less than 60 communities have been able to go through all the requirements of that law and get proper title deeds for their land.
How many are there in total?
It's hard to know how many. It's hard to know, but it's estimated around 600 to 700 communities exist in Kenya which have claims to land. So out of that, only around 59 have been able to get proper title deeds.
These 59 communities are based where? Which counties?
Well, they are spread around the country. I think around 24 counties have community land. Not all counties have communities which own land communally. Just a bit, I think around half of them have such communities. So there are quite a number of challenges that prevent that are causing this law. The first one is lack of interest from government. Government has not prioritized community land registration. So the registration of community land has been quite slow for a number of reasons. First of all is the lack of interest by government in registration of these lands. Community land has not been a priority for any government that has been in power since the passage of the Constitution. There have been some commitments or statements, but we have not seen any of those translated to tangible action. Number two is the lack of awareness from the community. A number of these communities do not even know that there is a law which requires them to get title deeds for the land. So a number of communities need to be informed that this law exists and this is the process, so that they can go through the process. That is not been done. Partly, the process can be a bit expensive for some communities, because one of the things it requires is for the entire community to come together, express interest that they want to register their land, document that interest, come up with bylaws, which is a set of laws that they will use to govern their land. They have to elect representatives. So some of these communities are really vast and huge. Just getting them together in one place to begin the process and go through the entire process can be quite expensive. So those are some of the reasons why the process is slow. When communities are not able or do not have a title deed, they face a lot of risks. For instance, there's a risk of land grabbing. In places where there are no title deeds, it is easier for land grabbers to encroach that place and steal that land from communities. Secondly, in the event of compulsory acquisition, that is where government has to acquire land for certain projects, then communities without title deeds are not able to show proof of ownership and might not be adequately compensated. And then lastly, thirdly, when because land is an economic resource, sometimes investors will need to go to to communities and do investments in that land. So without a title deed, communities are not able to get fair compensation for the land that has been taken away from them. So as NAMATI, we have been supporting communities to go through this process so they can be able to get secure title deeds that will protect their rights and help them to get full value of their land.